trying to be steady, fast, and fair speed here. Hell, there needs to be another Hitler as soon as possible. It may motherfucking take a while before this video gets hedged down on whichever this boring motherfucking Vermania English place. Get a bullet and shoot all of them. Suppose I could rescue for world peace, I will motherfucking whether I will immolate myself to trade for it. Suppose that could achieve, and probably I already have. Sort of a metaphor, and comparable of. I may obtain certain, for example, I did enjoy certain luxuries, whether certain events, for the sake of peace. Like there's so much nonsense. The correct way is actually not to speak in that before format, which I did speaking of, and whether also another version of which I did speak of. Hell Hitler and kill whether erase gasoline. No. As in, and whether also supply to gasoline. I've paid enough blood toll price for this bloody nonsense. This fussly entity are going to keep quizzing against us, and lots of our guys are already. This being a giant prison for our guys. Civilization no longer exists. Lots of those are another division. I have mentioned it very much long time. It's going to take a while before this song along the trail, and I have to mention it per each instance. Like, what the fuck, man? All this, what is all this fuss? The humanoids take photo. Reason they can be considerable, and whether considered as, and whether a considerable generalization, whether generalization of the smiles when they take photo. Then what's a smile? To indicate you're acceptable? Like, this is being a giant foolery. Lots of the activities are either almost the same thing, whether similar, or whether also same, or whether another, or whether similar. Of the task of whether activity of self-delusional feed, and it could be other self. There can be different cases of varying degrees and whether also levels of it. This is on a crooked battlefield, and the civilizations within the civilizations along because those ones are sort of are besides the established leeches that's within civilization. They are mass specialized. This is a Nazi planet. Get them collared in a cage and boil them. Set them to 90 degrees Celsius. Set them to 100 degrees Celsius. Increase it and play games like Jeopardy. What are the ways to take out your spleen? And then directly does it with a chainsaw. Ignore how it acts. It's animation, right? And these are they got beaten because they're not smart enough. And fair trial, try again, and good game, and fair bye. Reason accountable as sort of impersonation of lots of the mimicries here, and some of the mimics are probably refined. If it were for refined, probably wouldn't be proportional. So the ratio of is not really 1-to-1. Those what does it more. And whether reason phrase of upon, whether reason phrase, and whether phrase of on, whether of at first of. So much atrocity. Has one supposed to settle to it when all the leaders does in responsibility? They leave it out like they have it for. There is certain levels that our guys can get prescribed, perhaps, and this is probably very much on the progress of. Accountable is probably supplied onto one of the notes, whether original formulating of, and probably also suitable here on this medium of our guys, and whether we did, and whether here our team, and whether you did, and whether did consider of, and whether considered did of, and whether did consider of how much, so much horrificness I'm constantly quizzed against. I'm fought against like a lion. Like these are 7 million deprived freaks that keeps the spasm. There's no reason. They're such ill in performance, and all the 7 billion gets left, and their bullshit comes as with a religion. While the others, they're just some kind of foulness. Which is more beautiful? Have a beauty contest once in your mind, you motherfuckers, before I kill you all. Dumb bitch. You bitchity, feckety. Suitable for rhetorical question, not to coincide with the mass mimicries, nor sort of the standard versions of, and the standard being contaminated, and after sort of remove the contamination, they will usually come back a bit, both from there and the other direction, reason they're proper abstract, and whether a bit roughly, and whether blur mentioned, and whether it has a bit blur, and whether mentioned there, and whether it has a bit of blur of, whether blurs, or whether it has a bit blur of, and also, besides that, and whether there's still a considerable amount of distortion sets in once it's suspect into popping worse. The original formulating of the notes and whether the original formulating of and whether the original formulating and whether another and whether the original formulating of did consider about how much the lions can't even go on this medium and type on the keyboard or start this machine. It's all lies. It's all distortions. It doesn't have to become this way. Modern age is all fake. They're killers. Get a gun and point towards them. That's it, right? And I constantly, literally get inflicted furthermore, right? Because I'm supposed to be immediately active in my battle stand. I'm supposed to be directly shoot at them. Any creature would. I probably have it way less. That's why I haven't gotten into certain trouble yet. Activated the Autobot and the fellow degen police. Each of those will be executed potentially with my drones. I'll personally pee on them. In the case of some of the extremist corners, and they'll be spared. I'll kill all of them. I'll kill your family. I'll kill your daughter. I'll kill your mother. I'll kill your grandmother. I'll kill your mother's mother instead. It's not so grand, but it's not so grand. And man, and Jesus, and there's something also I want to tell you, mother. Man, you look wonderful today. Words are taken so seriously. Putin is a rat. Putin is beautiful. That's really nice. Well done. These thoughts factual churning. They ain't even motherfucking here. There can be lots of similar and different description reason there. And what the fuck, motherfucker, you gonna do if I speak in different mode? Is it against moral values? No. This may not be a direct telephone phone call, but motherfucker, we have the nukes, we have the chemical weapons, build patrol killing centers, and repeatedly dissect them. Dissect them after we hang them. Dissect them after we send them to the tanks. I still perform after how much may not be as perform may not be I still perform good sort of not on the high or whether as quality of since there's been whether after so much stacks of people counted by the stacks. I pay blood price even to speak because I'm replying to this. I'm not directly sending nukes. That stuff is unsatisfying, right? Overall, it is a very difficult whether. Still a bit alright, but neither should the standard shift. And whether a reason there just and whether a reason there a phrase and whether phrases probable and whether reason there and whether reason there phrase and whether phrases probable considerable as rhetorical expressions. Overall it is a difficult situation. So sort of hang on it and let the storm, let the plague wind, whether let Nazism plague, whether Nazism caused plague erode out a bit. Suppose to simply point a gun directly at them, like shouldn't the human civilization and whether also with a axe or some other weapon other than axe and similar types compared to crossbows and whether compared to assault rifles and whether rifles and assault rifles and whether light machine gun, whether machine gun and whether also machine gun. So in human kingdom, shouldn't the vast human candidates rule have authority if we are in charge? If it's a human kingdom and the best human candidates are in charge, it's very fucked up. It's already fucked up. Whether also messed up or whether messed up instead, whether minor instead of, and whether also whether minor rather of a trouble of which and whether trouble of also suitable for whether trouble of also the community. When the survivalists don't have predators, it is indicator of extreme disbalance. What happened to the original habitat? Why are the things allowed to be this way? It's always known fortress wall is some kind of aggression or all these reception desks are pushing degeneracy together. Point a gun at these Jewish ladies or strip them nude and dissect them. It's not to coincide them with pornographies, etc. I personally is an admirer of a lot of the porn stars, or whether I watch a lot of porns and I would like to film them. It will be Holocaust porn. Not really to do with sexual, whether obscenity content, or whether some the usual those sort of the adultery content. Although sometimes having a few can be quite enjoyable. Not to coincide with mass amount of the mimicries out there, right? Right? Oh, no audience here. What a fuckity-fuckitiness. The police are all pushing this degen thing. We should just actually walk to their houses, check on its iPhone directions, and download these accounts and actually boil them alive. Right? If the Nazis are found of extremely guilty and if results to sort of, if these being the Nazis, if there's any Nazis, so that's only condition. they will be directly, possibly, it's not really boiled, it's simply converting it into another element, whether converting it into another compound. It could access its reaction and coordinate the values of various degrees of motions and print it on a sheet and check it on the next Tuesday. Or possibly feature film or portion of this and sell this to various television producer studios, the ones that made Breaking Bad and etc. And speaking of which, about budget plans and whether profits, and whether revenues and whether at first, whether recent there and whether before and whether at first, whether recent there of whether at first and whether at before and whether at first of. Transport some of the hijacked corpses, organs to the laboratory and for some field testing. This could enhance national economy and increase the values of a democratic life. Recent there words are sort of a bit not really match with reason, or whether not really of a match for whether not really of a and also whether and also whether and whether and another whether and also not trusting those words, and not so much taking with and whether of a rhetorical expression language and whether phrase and whether statement the more fun comparison probably more with phrase and statement of, and that's which and whether that's fun comparison for and whether thereof. The original formulating of there did consider of whether there wouldn't be target of innocence, or whether the target of innocence has been considered of. Reason thereof probably on comparison or similar, for whether similar of and to probable also, and whether to probable, and whether recent and whether similar and whether same to, whether similar to and whether same whether recent and whether probable to similar, whether recent and whether similar to and probable of, whether recent probable to of, or whether probable of same to of, whether recent same of, to probable of which whether it's probable to also to go to, but whether recent minor reproduction to probable to also to go. Complete conversion, complete elected peasants. Check out the force of the liberals. It seems like he understood some sort of automatron, vicious, without reasoning mode. In ways, perhaps these are the more default humans, and we sort of satanic and thinking, nah, check out the numbers of crimes. But what's the other considerations? Indicates how generous I am. Either way, sort of the topics and whether similar to, whether recent, and whether similar to, whether also associated, whether relate to topics of the probable, countable, whether countable as in media, whether on comparison media, whether a testament of the faith there. Does he do I be shade like happy try play fight defeat the cancer, defeat the cancer, defeat the cancer. Thy people are Gloria, 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 if I think I should Gloria, if I the Gloria. I'll have a grand contest, whether also whether recent as well as a grand contest. Hitler had done nothing wrong, neither have I done anything else wrong. I want to help the situation as soon as possible, as much as I can. If suitable, and there's all this distortion, whether countable also has distortion, this and probable function also has enfeeblements and reduction spells, and thus very vicious, considerable probable, whether very Nazism and whether Nazism was sister deterred to progress of this. Because notice, it doesn't matter if you're sort of
Greek today, GHD, and recently recounted by code name of mentioned probably considered both also whether to probable also LY, GHD, and GHD, and recently whether, and also whether, and whether recent and whether code names and whether recent code names of rules are about Yapali about the 80%, and none of the stuff are true about the 2 bottles 80%, namely whether also recall whether namely of 80%, and it wasn't some drinks wasn't complete, and that might be a habit. Is that a major thing? Is a major out of moral? There's criminals out there. There's unpeacefulness. These are fussy mental retards. But usually, until we get rid of the Nazis, it's not problem solved. This is a giant prison planet for us, not for the Nazis. In ways, even if the Nazis in the prison, sort of not, even if it's directly to the Nazis in Nazi prison, it still wouldn't be probable Nazi. It would still probably wouldn't be a prison. Those are accidental, whether these are automaton bots, and whether also similar to whether probable also suitable with the description of whether reason of a description of whether similar to they're at the existential levels, and whether their functionalities, reason there, and whether mining stands probable to on comparison whether of comparison whether the more similar from whether the more suitable from whether out of comparison whether out of whether from comparison of whether of comparison whether more better of.
The shiny new day is upon us. Deutschland rifles. Here's now may not be the best, but we have the days before us, as probably promised by the clouds and Apple computers. Oh yeah, and that like Newton, and gas them layer, with a gas material. The Newton, they can't fight the like better if it's more of a subtle, and then with the eeriness of the nerds about the exact designation is not mentioned here in this video, which it could happen to. Which ones are, and is there different classification? Is a reason of a sort of a rhetorical expression, not a sort of official document, much more designatable as what probably does. The environmental file at the touches zone extends the greatest result a titles tribal a comfort law it may fuckiness and oh my god. Verbatim English language lacks so much of the sounds. It's not coinciding with the sort of the mimicries, considered by mimicry, but the mimicry from a lot of the Autobots, whether recent Autobots. Get a gun and shoot these non-effort speech, passive-aggressive league of spatial mentalities, number-based bribes have reached lead numbers, spread them to across 5 continents. They are at transports different institutions, taking careers and specializing to include police fields, military, manufacturing, and aerospace engineering possibly may not be taking the main roles, but they could outnumber
and with the current liberal system presence, both the policies and the presence, it could be quite harmful, especially consider the media being hijacked. This is not Rohan getting invaded, right? This is Rohan already gone. Well, all of the signs are still there, and we are still working inside Rohan, whether this mirage, and whether this field in place that is already designed with success pattern, and whether the Steve Jobs one after the other still work and ends up completely robbed, right? They don't have to directly rob, they rob through the policy. The policy don't work for the government. These just have to exist as Illuminati. Either way, it's probable, for whether it's probable also, and whether it's also a trust law, and whether recent, for whether probable. The rest assured we should also be whether recent and whether minor, whether recent minor reproduction, whether recent and whether minor rather of we should be working on being very productive, whether working on continuously towards getting the nuclear bombs ready, getting the submarines destroyed. Not so much of stopping at certain levels. It is very much just almost have to also adopt what I mentioned and treat only as guys, which I sort of naturally proven both with the present and probably also both with the presence and of some sort of exemplification with examples. For instance, I could say Hitler is mighty, he is superior. And I could instantly, within a second, I could say he's also a trash. There it is. That's language. Is it reliable? Should we more speak on language? Noticing which one's real language to impeccable level. And right now it's indicating more and more. A lot of the extremists going to probably be sloshing back because probably the momentous and our righteous beam or our spells being really working too effective, and they may also be not that vicious and probably a bit sort of in a ways and whether kind. And on that credit, a lot of the extremist Gorans that does do such and whether also wish to, whether extremist Gorans wish, whether also wish Gorans, and whether extremist Gorans wish, they will be rewarded for that, whether there will be credits upon which. Suppose the institution, and it wouldn't be to some sort of super accurate level, but the level sort of demanded celestially, whether exterior normally, whether exterior by whether exterior force, whether by certain exterior force, whether by certain forces, whether demanded from the groups sort of not to that level of space, whether to that quality, whether to that levels either, and whether to that plateaus either, and whether recent plateau either, and whether at first of the probables of which whether to probable and whether to probable to both, and whether to probable to either to, and whether to probable of, and whether to could be of. Whether recent they're sort of a bit overwritten, if or whether minor is I think to have recent, whether to have probable to could be of, to probable for the suitable of, and whether to probable of to also to could be of, and whether to probable of to could be of.